Third down and 20.
Let's get into some free agent season, boys. Who wants to kick it off?
Yeah.
I can start with the first guy, Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's interesting because he's gonna get some decent offers. He's 24 years old, had 1,300 yards last year. In the games he missed some games this year, but in the games he's played pretty well. And again, this has been his entire career as a number 2 to Mike Evans, and then AB's coming in and taking some targets also. I think some interesting fits. Obviously, I expect the Giants to be looking for a receiver, and we're going to mention some other receivers that I also expect the Giants to be interested in.
I think the Giants might take a receiver at 11 if we're going to be completely honest.
They could also take someone like a Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle at 11. My early guess on Godwin, what I've seen a little bit of rumors of, is that the Bucs are going to try to franchise tag him. In which case,
I see that. I think that's happening.
Yeah, which is my guy. I don't think they want to.
I also believe that'll happen.
Yeah, I don't think they just want to lose him like that. And he's still really young entering his first free agency. He came into the NFL really young.
Brady's going to stick around another year, so I feel like they're just going to, especially if they made the Super Bowl, regardless if they win, they're just going to go all in for another season to try and get a ring or another ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godwin's someone I don't think's on the move, and I think we kind of agree on that consensus. So 2 people, though, that I'm going to group together, though, that I do believe are likely to be on the move are both 27-year-old wide receivers from the same division, NFC North. That's Kenny Golladay and Allen Robinson. I guess I'll start with Golladay. I just don't really see him going back to the Lions. I feel like he's kind of felt, like shunned by not shunned by the organization, but like they haven't really done anything to help him out. This whole year was kind of a debacle and drama with him and the team. And so that's kind of, what's going to be the case, I believe, with Allen Robinson, too. There was a whole drama with him taking out the Bears from his Twitter bio and then deleting Instagram pictures or whatnot. So I think he'll be on the move, too. I'm excited to see where they go. I would love if either of them somehow ended up on divisional rival, the Packers. I don't know if the Packers are really in the market for either of them, but I'd love for that to be a good spot for either of them. You guys got any feelings on these 2?
Yes. Allen Robinson, okay. Hear me out. This is going to be crazy. Okay. Allen Robinson, everyone's saying, what could he do with a great quarterback? And I think that's a valid point. But at the same time,
he played with Blake Bortles, though, so
what could he do with a great quarterback? What if the secret to Allen Robinson this whole time is you pair him with a shit quarterback and he's good? And all of a sudden, if he goes to a good quarterback, things start not working out, like the timing's off, Maybe Allen Robinson this whole time has been good with bad quarterbacks. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Frank's just big braining all of Dynasty football right now.
This is some hardcore analysis going on.
Then to exactly put it in my pipe and smoke it.
JT, can we run the stats on good quarterback regression?
I don't have those. I'm pretty sure Allen Robinson top 10 over the past 2 or 3 seasons in least catchable balls. And I think if you've watched any of the Jaguars or Chicago Bears games, like I think you'd see why and understand. So the quarterback situation can't get much worse. And as a free agent, I feel like Allen Robinson's going to try and go to a team with a good quarterback, at least a quarterback that can, somewhat reach him and hit him accurately. So I feel like the sky's only up and value can only go up, but I think that's kind of been baked into his value right now, as basically everyone kind of predicts that he will be on a better offense.
Yeah, so honestly, what's the play with these guys? Because I think we all know Allen Robinson right now has always been that low end wide receiver 1 that you can pick up for a high end wide receiver 2 price up until maybe now. And then on the other hand, it's like Golladay. We know Golladay is talented, but he's just him and Sutton. They're coming off injuries, a little bit of a weird situation. What's going on? I just want all you guys, like in the stock market, give me a buy, sell, or hold on both of those guys.
Well, I'm typically go ahead, Jake. I've talked a lot.
So I am of the mindset that both of these guys' stocks are going to skyrocket once they sign with a new team. I am going to assume.
Let me hold you up, Jake. Let me hold you up real quick. So I have Allen Robinson as wide receiver 13 and Kenny Golladay as wide receiver 20. So in terms of the buy and sell, you're buying at that price, okay? I just want to put that on the record.
I think they're both a little bit higher than their. I'm definitely buying Golladay at wide receiver 20 price.
Okay.
Because I view him as one of the, I'll say like a very high end wide receiver too. Could possibly enter the low end wide receiver one depending on where he ends up. If he's end up like you saw what like a new place for Stephon Diggs did.
Yeah.
Where
No,
he's
I
getting
totally
a
see
ton of
that.
targets.
But Jake, you're thinking with Allen Robinson that he goes to a good offense. He's top 10 kind of a guy. Like he can be probably low tier top 10.
If he signs with, I don't know, JT brought it up before, the Packers, his value is going to skyrocket throughout the community.
God.
Everybody is going to everyone's going to lose their mind, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cash it in. I am going to say, listen, he went to a team that probably has an established wide receiver one, maybe a tight end, maybe a good running game behind it. He's not going to put up these numbers that he's been putting up because I kind of buy into what you're saying, Frank. He's been on these teams that had to throw the ball in garbage time a whole lot. And he benefits from it. If you look at a lot of the games, Allen Robinson puts up a lot of these numbers late in games when they don't really matter to the actual outcome of the game. So I'm buying. I'm selling once he goes to a new team and that price skyrockets up.
Yeah, my whole philosophy on wide receiver free agents. Sorry, I cut you off there, Frank.
Wait,
but
can I just say my joke real quick?
Go ahead, say your joke.
Allen Robinson is the Matt Stafford of wide receivers. This just in. Okay, go ahead, JT. Right. Bad joke. Bad joke.
I thought it was funny.
I'll give it 2.5 stars.
2.5. I'll take 2.5 stars.
All right, but where I was going is I kind of like to fade free agent wide receivers. Like if you look in years past, there haven't been many that go on to new teams through free agency and end up playing well. Like, I mean, the only ones that really come to mind are Robbie Anderson this year, going from the Jets to the Panthers, and then like Cole Beasley, I guess, kind of had a resurgence in his career going from the Cowboys to the Bills. Like, sure, I just don't see like top tier talent really boosting their value moving.
Wait, was Randy Moss a free agent or was he traded?
That's a good question.
He was definitely traded at some points, but like one of those moves had to be
traded.
I mean, I'm
pretty sure he was traded to Oakland and then signed with New England.
I don't think there's a huge difference in like a receiver getting traded to a new team in the offseason or a new team paying a big contract to a receiver in the offseason. I think it's either way. A new team is giving up assets, whether it be money or actual picks pieces, because they really want that receiver.
No, I agree with that, Lounis. It's just I think JT did bring up a good point. You just look at historically speaking. Like I feel like receivers that have been traded for, historically speaking, produce better than free agent guys.
In 2007, Moss was traded to the Patriots for a 4th round pick.
Oh my God!
His stock.
Oh my
he just went on to have like the best season in receiver history.
Oh my God, stonks.
No, I just meant either way with trades or free agency, the team is trying to get that player because they have a specific role in mind for that player. Like they know how they want to use them, and that's why they're giving up those assets. And for Robinson and Golladay, they're both going to have to. You're going to have to pay both of them a lot for multiple years.
Yeah.
So if we do see some guys who have switched teams, like we saw what Hopkins and Stephon Diggs did this year on their new teams, also.
Yeah. So, the only thing that I'll counter that with is, and then I think we can move on, is it's wide receivers also have to learn, like, with quarterbacks when they sign to a new team, wide receivers also have to learn the system and they have to learn the new playbook and everything. And with that, I'm higher on Allen Robinson than I am Kenny Golladay. just because Allen Robinson has done it moving from Jacksonville to Chicago. Like, I don't know if Kenny Golladay will be capable of doing that. Like, they're also not going to get that same kind of dedication and time that the quarterback's going to get towards learning the new system and playbook and whatnot. So that's all I got to
Buy,
add
sell
to
label, JT. Buy, sell, hold. Give it to me.
Okay.
Sell both.
No, I think I'd sell Golladay. I'd hold Allen Robinson.
Wow.
That's about where I'm at. All right. So who's next? We've got Will Fuller. Interesting one. Anyone want to take this?
Dibs.
All right,
Will Fuller. I love Will Fuller. He is so good. He is so freaking good. The only problem is just I really feel like he's one of those guys that depends on how your league values him, because he's not someone that I'm going to pay, or at least want to pay, that late first round price for, especially in this draft. It's like, dude, I know that's probably what he's worth, but I really don't want to give up a first round pick for Will Fuller. But if I can give up like anything but that first round pick for Will Fuller, oh dude, I will buy the shit out of him. This guy is so good. He just can't stay on the field.
If you had like 201 or 202, you're trading that for Fuller?
Probably. Depends on who's on the board if it's a guy that I really like. But most likely, yeah.
Okay.
It's just, dude, Will Fuller at the end of the day is one of those guys that he could pull out. He could be a top 5 receiver in fantasy next year, and no one would bat an eye. Everyone would be like, it's Will Fuller. You know, like he's probably just going to get injured the next game.
Do you have any injury concerns? Of course, the one season he stays healthy, he gets tagged for PEDs. You don't think that's a goddamn concern?
I ain't a freaking doctor.
He's like, I can't stay healthy. Might as well take some PEDs. If I get caught, I'm going to play the same amount of games if I was going to get hurt anyway.
I forgot about that. He's going to get suspended at the beginning of next year, right?
He's missing the first 2 games of next.
I thought he already had a suspension this season.
He's missing 2 games to start next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not going to have a wide receiver 5 season.
Well, yeah, kind of already out of the stars, but like I am worried about his frame being only like 6 foot 180, 185. Like it's not ideal for durability.
Right, because if he does stay healthy, I do like him a lot, like Frank does too. I think health is the only thing concerning. And also, I guess where he ends up. It's Houston now without Watson. I don't really love that situation. Until at least I know who their quarterback's going to be, whether it be Tua or one of the rookies. So I think landing spot's going to be big for him and his health. But I agree with you, Frank. He is an insanely talented receiver. Who do we have next on our list?
We have Juju. Corey Davis. Let's speed run Juju.
You want to group them?
Yeah, Juju. Yeah, sell.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think everyone should sell Juju.
Do we
I think
all
we're
agree
all in agreement here.
Yeah, okay. Name brand hype. I think you could just get more than wherever he's going to end
Corey
up.
Davis.
I think we all agree on that.
Sell.
I also feel like a sell.
Okay.
I
don't think he's gonna have as good a year as he did this year.
Jake, we'll give you a soapbox. Give Jake like a 30-second soapbox. Pitch us why you should buy Corey Davis. I think we already.
Corey Davis. Corey Davis. Listen, I think everyone bought into too much into the hype of him being the 4th overall pick in the draft, and I think he's really settled into this role behind AJ Brown and with Jonnu Smith taking some of the targets as well. I think him as a number 2 receiver is great in any offense, and he'll really continue to play this role wherever he is, as long as wherever he goes, he doesn't try to be this number 1 receiver. I think being this number 2 receiver is the best role for him, and as long as he sticks to that, I think he will continue to produce the way he has this year.
Hunter Henry, sell.
Hold.
I think I'm with
not
JT.
Say buy, but I'm holding.
If he ends up in a situation where, like, if he signs with the Patriots, I love that fit.
I think he's just going to end up back on the Chargers because I don't really see them going with Donald Parham.
I understand that because I've seen rumors saying the Patriots are expected to pursue Hunter Henry this offseason.
There are a couple good tight ends in the draft, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to answer that position in the draft, possibly.
They did draft Devin Asiasi.
I was talking
And
about the
Dalton
Chargers.
The Chargers. Okay.
The Chargers are in a prime spot to go and get Kyle Pitts. I don't know
Well,
if
yeah,
they
you
will.
got
That'd
you
be
still got
crazy.
Freiermuth or however the hell you say it. You got
Revan
you got
Jordan.
that
Guy
kid
from
from Miami. You
Miami.
got Charlie Kolar from Iowa State that I like a little bit. There are some good tight ends. All right, so we all got a take on Hunter Henry.
I think we all said yeah.
Jonnu
Yeah.
Smith.
Bye. I'm saying that as a John Smith owner though, but as a Jonnu Smith owner, it's just the lack of targets is what's really keeping him down. I think his high in targets this year was seven, and it's just the Titans are one of the teams that don't really throw the tight ends a whole lot. I think he will move in free agency, but even if he doesn't, like you're getting a new coordinator, Arthur Smith is gone. You know, I don't think they're going to rely on Derrick Henry as much just because of the sheer amount of volume that they've given him the past few years. Like he's gonna like fall apart eventually, and I think they just rather prefer to preserve him for as long as they can, and you know, kind of have him lead them in the playoffs because it seemed like he's lost steam in the playoffs when they get there. So Jonnu, if you increase his targets, he had crazy touchdowns. I get touchdown regression is a thing, but he's also shown that he's just such a physical presence in the end zone that he's someone that can't be ignored.
I like that a
I
lot,
like
JT.
the
I think you're right. Scheme doesn't help tight ends for them. All right, you go, Jake.
I like the player. I think the fit of where he ends up is going to depend a lot for him. He's a hold for me.
All right.
Gerald Everett.
Gerald Everett is a player that I really enjoy.
Wait, Lounis, did you want to say something about Jonnu?
No, I pretty much was just gonna repeat what they said.
Okay,
Cool.
yeah, get out of here, Lounis.
Gerald Everett is the next tight end that's also a free agent. He's a player that I actually really like. I think he's actually more. I like him more than Tyler Higbee. That is like the starting tight end in LA, and he is a free agent. So I think if he ends up somewhere where he's the tight end one, he's a very, very good buy low.
I think I don't care about Gerald Everett. He just.
I don't
Yeah,
really.
I don't
It
care
depends
for
on
him.
how low. Like if I'm getting him for like literally nothing, I'll take him. But I'm not gonna give any sort of actual draft capital to go and get him. I think that
You
Like, are
wouldn't
you-
give a late third round pick for Gerald Everett.
I mean,
depending
yeah,
on
I
where he
might give a late
signs.
third round pick depending on where he signs, but that's not necessarily like actual draft. Like if I have Gerald Everett and then he signs into a role where he's a starting tight end, I ain't gonna be able to get him for a late third round pick. That's the problem.
I've got him ranked as tight end 31 on my rankings.
So I think the best chance for Gerald Everett if you don't have
There's
him
not
and
that
you're
many
looking
tight
to
ends.
buy him. Hold on, real quick. If you're looking to buy Gerald Everett and you don't currently have him, I think the best chance, if for some reason, if you just love Gerald Everett, he goes into a similar role that he is right now on the Rams, and then their tight end either like the top tight end that he signs to the team either sucks or gets hurt, and then all of a sudden he's forced into number one. I think then that could be a good value get. But other than that, it's like, dude, why am I buying this guy unless I can get him before he goes somewhere? But who the hell is selling Gerald Everett right now? Like,
yeah, unless
I
you're.
think everyone would. I think that's the point. I think if you go to an owner right now and say, "Hey, I'll give you pick 310 for him," I think they'll go, "Okay,"
I'd accept
just like
that.
you guys are.
I would accept that.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And I think compared to whoever you're going to get at 310, you're going to get a guy that you know is a decent player and a guy that can be a starting tight end if need be.
I think Cole Kmet.
why am I giving up 310 for Gerald Everett? I just don't understand. Like, that's the whole point. Like, I'm not, unless he goes somewhere really good, then I would, but then I wouldn't be able to get him for that. But like, I'm not putting my eggs in the Gerald Everett basket. Fuck that. Like,
We're spending more time
right now, and you offered me 310, I would accept.
Yeah, we're spending more time on Gerald Everett than we did on Juju. I think we should just. I don't care about Gerald Everett. Who should?
Yeah,
no one
him.
should. Unless you're
right,
a two tight end league, like what's.
I'll write this down for you guys.
Oh my god!
Don't worry.
All right, RBs. I'm basically sell all of them, but we got Chris Carson, Aaron Jones, James Conner, Kenyon Drake.
Buy
All
Chris
sells.
Carson.
Oh, okay.
It depends on what you get him for, obviously, because like you could say buying every freaking player in the league, but if I'm getting if I get Chris Carson at the price of like a late second, dude, I will buy that all day on draft day. Depending on how the board falls, dude, I am getting a running back with way more talent than some of these guys on the board, dude. I'm looking at so let's just go real quick the running back rankings, right? And we're
Yep.
looking at someone like a Kylan Hill is on the board or a Chuba Hubbard is on the board.
Trey Sermon.
Like, dude, honestly, like, I might rather the risk on Chris Carson than one of those guys. And like, oh man, I think that could be a really, really good deal.
Yeah, if you're getting them for that price, I feel like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't know if that's necessarily the price you get them at, but
yeah, I think that's more of the problem. You're right. Is that like, you know, do you really want to give up Chris Carson for a late second, an early third? But I think realistically, like somewhere in that late second, if you were someone looking to take a running back and you don't like those guys on the board, that you could go for Chris Carson. I think it's way better, obviously, if you're a competing team than, you know, if I'm a rebuilding team and I'm just looking for value, I'd rather trade the pick for future picks or just take a dart throw. I like that. I think that Chris Carson is being way too discounted right now.
I mean, I think a big deciding factor on Chris Carson is his free agency. Obviously, if he signs back in Seattle, I think he has a similar role to what he had this year, which is pretty much,
like,
I mean, who's taking carries from him? Rashad Penny?
he's coming back. He'll be healthier. There's no guarantee they don't also draft a running back too. Like the Seahawks
dude,
are.
I
weird
think they
with
may
the
go
draft.
O-line. Like,
they have so many holes that we've seen.
Yeah,
The
they also gave up. I mean, not that they were going to draft in the first round, but didn't they give up their first to the Jets for Jamal Adams?
For Jamal Adams.
This is a pretty loaded O-line class. It's looking like.
Yeah, I think he'll have, I guess, a similar role, but I don't think there'll ever be an increase in usage. It's only.
I don't know. I think you're right, JT, though, because like when you look at the draft board, Seattle at 56, I think they're picking out in the second. That is such a running back prime spot.
It's where they always get drafted.
Like, you could save the cash on signing a running back, go and try and sign a free agent, and then just draft a pretty damn talented running back. All right, Aaron Jones.
Lounis, tell us why you should buy him.
Okay, so naturally the answer is sell, but I think he's kind of getting the Derrick Henry syndrome where so many people are saying sell. His value is almost kind of getting a little bit too low.
I think the key takeaway from that is we're gonna have to add Derrick Henry syndrome to our what's it called, lexicon. We've got the Joe Mixon effect.
Mixon paradox.
Joe Mixon paradox. The Juju effect, and the Derrick Henry syndrome are our three ones now. We got.
Buy our merch.
Wait, there was that one around Christian Kirk too that I like. Can we have that one?
Yeah, I forget. I feel like I came.
We need to actually like coin these, but
I think I might have used that twice. So we're gonna have to diversify our adjectives or adverbs or whatever we're using around them.
I'm selling Aaron Jones.
And I wouldn't say necessarily buy. For me, he's a hold just because you're not going to get the appropriate value for him right now, I don't think, because everyone is saying sell.
What's his dream landing spot? Miami?
Atlanta.
Jets.
I think the Jets would be a good one.
I would be happy if he was on the Jets.
He'll be
with Atlanta.
He'll be the top free agent running back. Like easily.
I think you're right. I think he's a hold because like you're not selling him for much, and then if you're really looking on selling him, you either sell off the free agent hype or you wait for him to have one of those crazy Aaron Jones weeks.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm willing to be convinced to move from sell to hold on Aaron Jones, just because I do believe a lot of people are like myself and are like, we know he's almost definitely not staying with the Packers, and
it's just what price are you getting for him? What is the price for Aaron Jones?
You're not getting a first for him.
I think you have to get a first for him.
That's the point.
I'm telling you, this is an Aaron Jones owner. No one's giving a first right now. That's what I'm saying with everyone saying
so.
Sell.
I can get Aaron Jones for a first-round pick. Any first-round pick.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm telling you, I can't get a first.
Fucking buy him.
That's what I was saying with the Derrick
Frank's
Henry
mind
syndrome.
has been changed.
Excuse me, waitress, can I have 3 Aaron Joneses, please? Thank you.
That might be a
That's
good
what I'm
place to
saying with
cut
him. With
it.
so many people are saying sell, that his value's gone, and he's been what? He's been RB2 last year, RB5 this year. Won't be that good, but it's still
Dude,
that's legit.
I'm taking a loan out and I'm buying 18 fucking Aaron Joneses at that price. All right, James Conner and Kenyon Drake. We're gonna group them into one big shit bucket that you will sell to any looming person.
Yeah, any of you guys want James
No.
Conner? I'll sell him
No.
to you.
No.
I'll give him to you for nearly nothing.
How about this? Who's the better buy, James Conner or Kenyon Drake? I think that's more of the actual question.
I think it's Drake and
I
just
think
hope,
Drake got a little bit.
just Drake and like hope he somehow ends up back in Arizona and like can at least kind of retain his role. Because I feel like even if Connor does resign with Pittsburgh, I'd take Drake resigning with Arizona.
Dude, everyone I think is overrating the Pittsburgh landing spot for a running back. That is not a fun place to run the ball right now.
I'm not like I still want Drake over him, and I don't value Drake very highly.
Wait, I was just more so talking about for rookies. Like, oh, if Najee Harris gets drafted by Pittsburgh, oh my God, bye. But like, dude, if I want Najee Harris, I want him to go like everywhere but Pittsburgh right now.
Well, what about Tampa? Because that's why one of the mock drafts.
Okay, yeah, screw Tampa. That might be even worse.
All right. Well, like, what's the price for these guys?
Literally
second
nothing.
at most.
Yeah,
Late second.
Probably an early third if we're being realistic.
An early third, late second.
I'd say Drake late second, Connor early third.
Dude, Connor is real. Like, it might, like, on draft day, if you offer up Connor for early thirds, I think it gets declined just because, like, you're gonna see who's on the board there.
Draft day. Yeah.
Like,
I think right
especially
now
this
when you can't put a
Superflex
name to the
league, dude. Because like, what if Trey Sermon's on the board? Like, who'd you like? I think most people would rather have Trey Sermon than James Conner right now.
Yeah, I'd rather take the gamble on Trey Sermon.
I'll take the chance on Sermon.
Jamar Jefferson.
I should just offer that to some people in our league. See if anyone bites.
Yeah.
Give me one or 301 and 302 or 302. I'll take it. I don't care.
This whole podcast YouTube stuff was a scheme by Jake for us to give him fancy advice.
All right, get your advice. Hey, JC, I don't need your advice. I've won. You've won nothing.
You know who doesn't need your advice? Jimmy. That's where I think we should leave.